Wa assalamu wa alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakatuh. This is a little ironic because I'm beginning an alternate timeline in which the Ottoman Empire, what's known as today as a great champion of Islam. Well, in this alternate timeline, they became Christian. Micah history is uploaded most likely the former episode, in which we go into the great depths of a little bit of conquest, shall we say, in Arabia. Now let us go into this timeline in which instead of, well, let's go into the New World. And let's do that in the New World. Let us speak about what happens in the Americas. Well, because the Spanish and the French are aiding the Ottoman Empire in their crusades to spread Christianity throughout the Middle East. Because of that, what's going on right now is that they don't really need to worry about the Ottomans blocking off their route to China. They can still trade with China. They might have to worry about the Venetians, but that threat, that scare is less important. So they really don't need to do shit. What happens is the Portuguese, they're the ones to do it. So they become a trading empire, as we all know. The Portuguese, they go throughout Africa. For example, in 1498, Africa is completely circumnavigated by Portugal, giving them immense trading power. By 1500, Pedro Álvares Cabral discovers Brazil for Portugal. This affects a lot of the world. Of course, Brazil, Portuguese, they try to keep it a secret, but that secret, that can only last so long before someone finds out the ugly truth. And by 1501, rumors go into Spain. Spain is kind of pissed at Portugal. So the Spanish, they get Columbus to explore Brazil. And, well, Columbus conquers Brazil for Spain. By 1506, Columbus dies. Like, how he died in reality. But by his death, Spain has colonized the entire coast of northeastern Brazil. So, the Spanish, they continue their imperial conquests. By 1516, Spain discovers Panama and begins expanding it into both North and South America. Now let's talk about a little bit of another colony. This colony is a German colony, Klein Venedig. In our timeline, this colony was established as a tiny colony by the state of Nuremberg. But let's talk about in this timeline and the world I'm creating with Micah. What happens is, rather than going into Venezuela, because Spain hasn't conquered the Aztecs yet, in this timeline, the German mercenaries are able to do it in the name of, imperialism. So, the Germans completely have Klein Venedig settled. And rather than in Venezuela, they're going into the Aztec Empire. So it is a German state in Mexico. It is led by the mercenary conquistador Hernan Cortés. by 1535 and 1536, Spain has explored the northwestern Pacific coast of South America. And, well, they've discovered the Incas for the first time. They immediately began the conquest of them under Pizarro. So, well, what the Portuguese do in response, they're a little scared. And the Portuguese, they colonized the entire Caribbean. And a Portuguese state, well, Portugal now controls the entire Caribbean. By 1555, France colonizes some of the southeast of Brazil. And they head south into Argentina. And by 1562, they create a colony known as the Florida Panhandle. Of course, Spain has to get their ugly hands into the whole thing, and they colonize southern Florida. But by 1588, the first wave of colonialism ends with the defeat of the Spanish Armada. That means, well, there's a new wave of colonialism, and that will eventually happen. So right now, we've got the first 2 episodes done. And inshallah, again, a little bit of irony here, we will get the 3rd and 4th episode done as well. This has been Julius Caesar, getting stabbed by Brutus.